Okay, picture this scenario.
I'm with you.
It's a Sunday afternoon. You're feeling, I don't know, ambitious. You feel like the CEO of your own life.
Oh, I know this feeling. It's dangerous.
It's very dangerous.
Yeah.
So you go to the grocery store, you have your list in hand, you are full of good intentions. You buy the spinach, the kale, maybe some of those beautiful, vibrant red bell peppers.
You're going to be a salad person this week.
I am going to be a salad person this week.
Yeah.
I come home, I unpack, and being a responsible adult, I put all that fresh produce right where it belongs.
In the crisper drawer.
The crisper drawer.
The designated home for healthy things.
Of course.
You close it with a satisfying thud. And then, well, life happens.
It always does.
Tuesday rolls around, Wednesday, Thursday. 2 weeks later, you're looking for a soda, maybe. You happen to glance down. You open that drawer and find...
Let's call it a science experiment.
A science experiment is a polite way to put it. The classic crisper drawer tragedy.
It's not just wilted lettuce. It's practically a new ecosystem down there. It is a bag of brown sludge that used to be spinach. It has turned into a liquid.
Yeah.
And the immediate feeling isn't just, oh, I wasted $5.
No, it's deeper than that.
It's this sinking, heavy feeling of, why? Why do I do this every single time?
It happens to the best of us, sure. But for a specific segment of the population, for some folks, this isn't just an occasional lapse in meal planning.
No.
It is a systemic, recurring issue that, leads into every single aspect of their lives.
Exactly. Or how about this one? This one hurts me, personally.
Okay.
You get a text from a friend, a good friend, someone you love. You see the notification pop up, you read it, you smile, you mentally write a heartfelt response. Literally, you say the words in your head.
The whole paragraph.
The whole thing.
Correct.
And then the toaster pops, or the dog barks, and you put your phone down.
And that's it.
A month passes. Suddenly you wake up in a cold sweat, realizing you never actually typed the words.
You just ghosted your best friend by accident.
Completely by accident.
Oh, that is the texting trap, and it is incredibly common. It's a source of, immense shame for people.
So today we are unpacking a concept that has absolutely exploded on social media, particularly within the neurodivergent and ADHD communities.
Yeah, it's everywhere.
It's a term that you might remember from like a dusty textbook in Psych 101, but it's being used in a very new, very viral way. We are talking about object permanence.
Right. And immediately, before we even get into the weeds, we have to address the elephant in the room.
Okay.
There is a massive conflict here between the clinical definition and the, let's call it, the internet definition.
It's huge contrast.
If you look at the strict medical books, adults with ADHD definitely have object permanence. They aren't, confused about the laws of physics.
They know their keys don't literally cease to exist just because they're in a drawer.
Exactly.
And yet, if you scroll through TikTok or Instagram, you see thousands of people with ADHD saying, no, seriously, if I can't see it, it is gone.
And they're not joking.
They are not joking.
Yeah.
So what is actually going on here? That is our mission today. We are going to attempt to bridge that gap.
But we have to.
We want to debunk the myth that ADHD adults are like developmentally delayed while validating the very real, very frustrating struggle that feels like a lack of object permanence.
We're exploring why the ADHD brain battles with this concept of out of sight, out of mind, the deep neuroscience behind it, because it is biological, not just behavioral.
Right.
And how it impacts everything from that rotting vegetable soup in your fridge to, strained marriages.
We have a really fascinating stack of sources for this deep dive. We're pulling from psychological journals, advice from licensed mental health counselors like Andrea Bragiano, who specializes in this, and some really in-depth articles from places like Choosing Therapy, Simply Psychology, and Medical News Today, plus some heavy hitters in the world of ADHD research.
Like Dr. Russell Barkley.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a heavy stack, but the insights I think they're going to be worth it.
So let's dive in. To understand why everyone on the internet is talking about object permanence, we first have to understand what the heck it actually means in a textbook sense.
Yeah, go back to the source.
Because I vaguely remember this from college, but isn't this something babies learn? Like really small babies?
It is. The term was coined by the Swiss psychologist Jean Piaget back in the 1960s.
Piaget, right.
He was a giant in the field of cognitive development. He spent years, just observing how infants learn to interact with the world.
Just watching kids play.
Basically, yeah. And essentially, object permanence is the cognitive understanding that objects continue to exist even when they are out of sight, unheard, or untouched.
Right, the peekaboo thing. That's why babies lose their minds when you play peekaboo.
Exactly. To a very young infant, when you cover your face with your hands, you haven't just hidden your face.
Oh.
In their perception, your face has ceased to exist. You have vanished from the universe.
Wow.
When you move your hands, you have miraculously reappeared. It's actual magic to them.
Which is adorable, but also kind of terrifying if you think about it.
Oh, absolutely. Living in a world where things just pop in and out of existence.
It's a profound developmental milestone then.
It is. Typically, infants achieve this between 8 to 12 months, though you can see some signs as early as 4 or 5 months.
And Piaget had a test for this.
He did.
Yeah.
The classic test involved hiding a toy under a blanket while the baby was watching.
Okay, so the baby sees the toy, you cover it with a blanket. What happens?
Before they hit this milestone, the baby just acts like the toy is gone. They won't reach for it. They won't try to pull the blanket away.
Really?
They might look around the room or start crying, but they don't look under the blanket because conceptually, there is nothing there for them to find.
The toy has been deleted.
Deleted. But once they hit that milestone, though, if you put the toy under the blanket,
Yeah.
they immediately lift the blanket. They go right for it.
Because they know it's there.
They know it's there. They have a mental image of the object that persists even without the sensory input.
So let's apply this to the adult world. And I want to be really clear here because I think this is where a lot of the stigma comes from.
Yeah, this is the crucial part.
If I put my keys in a drawer and I have ADHD, I don't literally think the keys have vaporized, right? I don't think I'm living in some quantum state where matter's being created and destroyed every time I close a cabinet.
Correct. And this is where that friction lies between the medical community and the online community. Clinically speaking, adults with ADHD do not lack object permanence.
Okay.
If you leave the room, they know you are still in the house. If they put their wallet in the glove box, they know the wallet exists. They don't think the car ate it.
So why do they use the term? I mean, is it just people misusing psych speak? Is it just for clicks?
It's a metaphor. And frankly, it's a brilliant metaphor because it so vividly describes the subjective experience of the ADHD brain.
The feeling of it.
It captures the emotional reality. It's not that the object is gone from existence. It is gone from awareness.
Gone from awareness. I like that phrasing.
Yes. Think of your brain like a computer. You have the hard drive, right? Where all your long-term memories are stored. You know where your keys are on the hard drive.
Sure.
But your screen, your active monitor, can only show so much. For a neurotypical person, they might have a little minimized window at the bottom of the screen reminding them keys are in the drawer.
Okay, I see that.
For the ADHD brain, when that drawer closes, the window doesn't minimize, it force quits.
It's gone.
The neural pathway that keeps that item in your active thoughts it just switches off.
So it's less about physics and more about focus and memory. It's an attention issue.
Exactly. The sources we looked at suggest much better, more accurate terminology. You'll hear things like task blindness or deficits in working memory, or simply the classic out of sight, out of mind.
But object permanence has stuck.
It has stuck because it carries that emotional weight, that feeling of, I genuinely, completely, 100% forgot this existed until I saw it again.
It feels heavier than just forgetfulness, doesn't it? Forgetfulness sounds like, you left your umbrella on the bus.
Right.
This feels like a complete erasure of the item from your mental map of the world.
That's a great way to put it. Erasure.
Yeah.
And to understand why that erasure happens, we have to look under the hood. We need to stop talking about metaphors and start talking about biology.
We need to talk about the neuroscience.
Yes, we do.
Let's get into the brain stuff. Because I think a lot of people assume this is just being scatterbrained or lazy.
Or a character flaw.
Yeah. Oh, you just didn't care enough to remember. But there is a physical mechanism failing here, right?
It is absolutely physical. It's not a character flaw. It's a chemistry issue.
Yeah.
Which brings us to the executive functions.
We hear that term a lot, executive function. It sounds very corporate, very official.
It is corporate. Think of the frontal lobe, specifically the prefrontal cortex, as the CEO or the conductor of the brain.
The part right behind your forehead.
Exactly. Its job is to manage resources, plan for the future, regulate emotions, and, crucially for this conversation, manage working memory.
So in ADHD, the CEO is, what? On vacation, asleep at the desk.
The CEO is there, but the phone lines are down. The Wi-Fi is spotty. The research shows that in ADHD brains, there is often lower activity or different connectivity in this region.
Go.
But more specifically, we need to look at the neurotransmitters, dopamine and norepinephrine,
The chemicals.
the couriers. These chemicals are responsible for carrying signals across the synapses, those little gaps between neurons.
Right.
In the ADHD brain, particularly in the prefrontal cortex, there is a dysregulation. Either there isn't enough dopamine or it gets reabsorbed too quickly. The system isn't efficient.
So the signal, remember the laundry, gets sent, but the courier drops the package before it gets to the CEO's desk.
Precisely. The signal degrades, it gets lost in transit. And this leads to a specific deficit in what we call working memory.
Okay, so let's unpack working memory. I've heard this described as the brain's RAM.
That's a perfect analogy. Or think of it as a temporary sticky note, a scratch pad.
Okay.
It's where you hold information that you need right now, but don't need to store forever. For a neurotypical brain, that scratch pad is pretty sticky. You can hold a thought like, I need to do the laundry, while you walk into the kitchen to get a drink of water.
Right. The note stays on the pad.
The note stays, I get the water, I see the laundry basket, I do the laundry, the chain is unbroken.
But for the ADHD brain,
That scratch pad is slippery. It's like writing on a whiteboard with one of those dry markers that's running out of ink.
yeah, you can barely see it.
You have the thought, I need to do laundry. You walk into the kitchen, but then the sensory input changes. You see dirty dishes, you smell coffee, the cat meows.
And all that new information,
That new sensory input just wipes the whiteboard clean.
the laundry note is gone.
Gone. And because the note is gone, the task effectively disappears. You don't decide not to do the laundry. The option to do the laundry is no longer available to your conscious mind.
That is terrifyingly relatable. I want to bring in Dr. Russell Barkley here because his work on this is just legendary.
It really is.
I was reading through the notes on his theories and he talks about time blindness. How does that connect to this object permanence idea?
Dr. Barkley is brilliant on this. He explains that working memory is what allows us to look back mentally, that's hindsight, and look forward, foresight, to guide what we do next.
It gives us continuity.
Exactly, it creates a bridge across time. When working memory falters, you lose that bridge. You become trapped in the now.
So you're not living in the past or the future. You are only living in the immediate present.
You are reliant entirely on what is right in front of you. This is why Dr. Barkley says that ADHD is a disorder of performance, not knowledge.
Say more about that.
You know what to do. That information is stored in the back of your brain on the hard drive, but the front of your brain, the part that executes, can't access it unless there is a trigger in the environment.
So it's a dependency on sensory input.
Yes. The brain fails to ping the user about a task or an item unless there is a continuous visual or sensory reminder.
If the eye doesn't see it, the brain doesn't ping it.
You got it. The ping is gone.
That explains so much about the clutter. We see these, hoarder type shows or
Yeah.
just messy rooms and we judge. But if your brain only pings you when you see the item, you have to keep everything out.
It's a survival strategy. It's not a moral failing. And that brings us perfectly to the daily manifestations of this. Because we joked about the lettuce, but this invisible world problem manifests in really specific, often frustrating ways.
Let's break this down. The sources we looked at categorize this into three main areas: physical objects, tasks, and the digital world. I want to go deep on the physical stuff first. The doom drawers, the doom boxes.
The doom box, the box of didn't organize, only moved.
Yes, you shove things in there to clear a surface, and then those things effectively die.
You're gone.
I have a drawer in my kitchen. I call it the drawer of requirement. I don't know what's in it. I haven't opened it in 3 months. If there is a bill in there, I am going to jail.
And that is the reality. One of the most common manifestations is impulse buying. Why?
I know this one.
Because you forgot you already own the thing.
Oh, this shampoo? I have 4 bottles of shampoo under my sink right now.
Why do you have 4 bottles?
Because I was at the store and I couldn't remember if I had shampoo, and I just thought, better safe than sorry.
But why couldn't you remember? Because when you are at home, where is the shampoo stored?
Under the sink, behind a cabinet door.
Exactly. Opaque storage. If you can't see through the door, the brain doesn't register the inventory.
It's Schrodinger's shampoo.
It is. It both exists and doesn't exist until you open the cabinet. But since you aren't opening the cabinet at the store, your brain just defaults to, I probably don't have it.
One of the sources had a quote from an individual saying, "Out of sight means I'll spend 15 minutes tearing the place apart." And this leads to the counter clutter, right? The piles.
Right. Partners of people with ADHD often complain, why is everything on the kitchen island? Why are your keys, your wallet, your meds, your mail, and a random screwdriver all on the counter?
It looks like a mess.
It looks like a mess, but to the ADHD brain, that is a highly functional system.
It's a visual dashboard.
It is visual insurance. If I put my keys in the designated key drawer, they are gone. I will lose them.
But if they're on the hook by the door,
Even the hook, I might not look at the hook. If I leave them on the counter right where I pour my coffee, I exist in the same physical universe as my keys.
you can't miss them.
I can't leave without them because they are physically in my way.
So the mess is actually anxiety management.
It is 100% anxiety management. And we see this with food, too. The rotting vegetable trope exists for a reason. Modern fridges are designed by people with good working memory.
What do you mean by that?
The crisper drawers at the bottom, it's usually tinted plastic. You have to bend down and consciously decide to look in it.
It's the least visible place in the whole fridge.
Meanwhile, the cheese, the soda, the leftovers, they're on the shelves at eye level.
So we eat the cheese and the soda.
We eat what we see, and we find the spinach 3 weeks later when it smells. This is why one of the top tips, which we'll get to later, is to completely reorganize your fridge against the manufacturer's intent.
I love that. Anarchy in the kitchen. Okay, moving from objects to tasks. This is where it gets tricky because you can't physically see a task like paying a bill.
Unless the bill is literally on the table.
And even then, papers tend to blend into the background. They become landscape.
This is task blindness. Let's walk through the laundry cycle again, but really slowly, because it's a perfect case study in executive dysfunction.
Okay. Step 1. I put the clothes in the washer. I add the soap. I press start. So far, so good. Success.
Great. Now you leave the room, the sensory input of the whirring machine is gone. You walk into the living room, what happens?
I see the TV, or I see a book, or I see the dog wants to play.
And your working memory is wiped. Now, 3 days later,
Bombs. 3 days later, I go to put on a pair of socks. I open my sock drawer. It's empty.
panic.
Panic.
Yeah.
Then the realization hits me like a freight train. The washer.
You run to the washer. You open it. And the smell hits you, that mildew smell.
It's the smell of failure. It really is.
So now you have to rewash the clothes. Maybe you even pour in extra detergent to kill the smell. You start the cycle again, you leave the room.
And I do it again. I forget again.
Because the mechanism hasn't changed. You are relying on your brain to ping you in 2 hours, but your brain doesn't have that notification enabled. This leads to what the community calls the ADHD tax.
I've heard this term. It hurts my wallet just hearing it.
It's the financial cost of this object permanence issue. It's the late fees on bills you had the money to pay but forgot existed.
It's the cost of expedited shipping because you forgot your mom's birthday until the day before.
It's the cost of rebuying the groceries you let rot. It's buying another pair of headphones because you can't find the 3 pairs you already own.
It adds up to thousands of dollars a year for some people.
Easily. And it's not just money, it's reputation. If you miss a deadline at work because the project file was closed on your desktop, you look incompetent.
That brings us to the out-of-sight nature of long-term goals.
Yeah.
If a deadline is 3 months away, for an ADHD brain, that might as well be in the next century.
Precisely. This is often labeled as procrastination. People say, why do you leave everything until the night before?
Oh, yeah.
But if we look at it through the lens of object permanence and time blindness, it makes perfect sense. The future is an abstract concept. It is out of sight.
Therefore, the motivation is out of mind.
Until the deadline is tomorrow.
Then the panic sets in.
The panic creates adrenaline. Adrenaline creates focus. Suddenly, the task is very visible. It's a tiger in the room with you. And you get it done.
But it's an exhausting way to live, just constantly running on cortisol.
It is burnout city. A one-way ticket.
Now, what about the digital side? Because I feel like smartphones have made this infinitely worse.
Yeah.
Our entire lives are just hidden behind little icons.
Digital object permanence is a massive, massive issue. Think about notifications. You see that red dot on your email app? That is a visual cue. It's nagging you. Open me.
It's itchy. I have to click it to make it go away.
So you click it to make the red dot go away. You get that little dopamine hit of clearing the notification. You read the email, it's from your boss. Please send me that report.
Okay.
You think, okay, I need to check the data first. You close the email app to open Excel.
And the email is gone.
It is dead. It is buried. Because the visual cue, the red dot, is gone. The email is now just one line in a list of thousands.
It doesn't exist anymore.
Unless you have a system to mark it as unread or flag it, You will likely never return to it until your boss emails you again asking, "Where is it?"
This explains the browser tabs. I don't want to say how many. Let's just say my browser has stopped showing the icons and just shows tiny little slivers.
The tab hoarding. It's a classic coping mechanism.
People tell me to close them. They say it's slowing down your computer, but I can't. I physically feel like I can't.
Because you know that if you close that tab, you lose that information forever.
Yes.
You don't trust your working memory to retrieve it, and you don't trust yourself to remember to look for it again. It is the digital equivalent of spreading all your papers out on the floor so you can see them all at once.
It's an external hard drive. My browser window is my brain.
Exactly. And honestly, if it works for you, keep the tabs open. Use a tab suspender extension so it doesn't kill your RAM, but keep the visual cue. Don't fight your brain.
Okay, that makes me feel better. But I want to pivot to something that it feels less funny. We've talked about objects, tasks, and tabs, but what happens when this applies to people?
This is section 4 of our deep dive, and honestly, this is the most painful part for many people with ADHD. The sources call this the ghosting phenomenon.
And they don't mean ghosting like a bad date where you just stop replying because you're not interested.
No, not at all.
They mean accidentally ghosting people you love.
Right. A person with ADHD might care deeply, profoundly about a friend. They might love them more than anything. But if that friend doesn't live in their house or doesn't text them every day, the friend can simply fade from daily awareness.
Out of sight, out of mind, applied to a human being, sounds cruel. It sounds sociopathic.
It sounds terrible, which is why there is so much guilt and shame associated with it. But the mechanism is exactly the same as the laundry.
It's the same faulty ping system.
If you are not in front of me, my brain isn't pinging me to think about you. It's not a value judgment on the person. It's a failure of the retrieval system.
And then there's the texting trap we mentioned in the intro. I want to walk through the emotional roller coaster of that. Because it's not just, oops, I forgot.
No, it's a whole cycle. Day 1, you get the text, "Hey, miss you." You think, "Oh, I miss them too. I'll reply after I finish this dish."
Right.
You finish the dish, you get distracted by the TV, the thought falls off the whiteboard.
Day 3 arrives.
You see their name in your phone. You think, "Oh God, I didn't reply. I'll do it right now." Wait, no, I'm driving. I'll do it when I stop.
And then you stop. And you forget.
You forget. Day 7, now it's been a week. Now the guilt sets in.
Oh, the guilt.
You think, "I can't just say, 'Hey now, it's been too long. I need to write a really good apology, a long explanation.'"
But that feels like a huge task.
Writing a long explanation takes executive function. It takes energy. So you put it off.
Month 1.
The wall of shame. Now it's been so long that it feels impossibly awkward to reply at all. You feel like a bad friend. You feel like a monster.
So you just avoid them completely to avoid facing the shame.
And the cycle is complete.
One of the sources had a quote that just floored me. It said, "If you don't text me first, I might forget you exist for a month."
It's a brutal thing to say to a friend, but it's honest. And it's crucial to clarify this is not malice. It's not a lack of love. It's a lack of working memory cues.
But try explaining that to a neurotypical partner who just feels neglected.
Exactly. That brings us to relationships and attachment theory. I saw the term object constancy in the notes. How is that different from object permanence?
I was wondering the same thing.
This is a vital distinction. Object permanence is cognitive, knowing the thing exists physically. Object constancy is emotional.
Emotional.
It's related to secure attachment. It's the ability to know that your relationship is secure and the bond exists, even when you are apart or in conflict.
It's feeling loved even when the person isn't in the room hugging you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's knowing that just because we had a fight, the relationship isn't over, or just because you're on a business trip, I am still your partner, the connection is stable.
Okay.
Now, some studies link ADHD to insecure attachment styles. If you struggle with the out-of-sight aspect, you might struggle to maintain that feeling of connection when the person is away.
So you might feel anxious or needy, or maybe you just detach.
Yes, both can happen. Or you might seem cold. This can make adults with ADHD seem, as one study put it, immature, neurotic, or defensive.
Ouch, that's harsh.
It is harsh. But think about it from the partner's perspective. Let's role play a simple fight. Your partner asks you to take out the trash in the morning. You say yes.
Okay.
You walk past the trash 10 times. You don't take it out.
Because I didn't see it. My brain filtered it out. It blended into the background.
Your partner comes home. The trash is still there. They say, you didn't take out the trash. You don't listen to me. You don't respect my time.
And my immediate reaction is to get defensive and say, I just forgot. It's not a big deal. Stop nagging me.
But to them, it looks like a choice. You walked past it. You have eyes. Therefore, you chose to ignore their request. That feels like a lack of love, a lack of respect.
And on the inside, the ADHD partner is probably spiraling.
The emotional toll is so heavy. The internal monologue is often, I'm a bad partner, I'm lazy, I'm broken. This leads to toxic shame.
And rejection sensitivity.
Huge. Rejection-sensitive dysphoria or RSD. If your partner gets angry about the trash, you don't just hear, I'm annoyed about the trash.
No, you hear, I hate you and I'm leaving you.
Yes, because you lack that emotional object constancy to remind you, they love me, they're just mad about this one specific thing. The whole relationship feels threatened.
This is heavy stuff. It turns a simple chore dispute into a relationship-ending crisis in your mind.
It really does. And socially, if you keep forgetting to text back, eventually people stop texting, which leads to isolation.
It's a self-fulfilling prophecy.
It is. You forget. So they pull away, which makes you feel rejected. So you isolate yourself further.
Yeah.
It's a vicious cycle.
Okay, we have stared into the abyss. We see the rotting spinach, the unread texts, and the angry partners. I don't want to leave people there.
No, let's climb out.
We need to climb out. Let's talk strategies. The sources provided some really actionable, concrete ways to hack the brain.
Yes. And the mindset here is crucial. You cannot force your brain to remember things it is wired to drop. Willpower is not the solution.
So just try harder is the worst advice ever.
The worst, you have to change the environment to hold the memory for you. You have to outsource your executive function.
So strategy number 1, make it visual, the eyes-on approach.
If the problem is out of sight, the solution has to be in sight. Let's start with storage. Stop using opaque storage.
The solid colored bins.
Get rid of them. Use clear plastic bins.
So you can see what's inside without having to open it.
Exactly. If you have a bin labeled winter clothes, you will forget what is in it. If you have a clear bin where you can see the red scarf, you will remember the red scarf.
And open shelving. I see this advice everywhere.
I know minimalists hate this. They want everything hidden away behind sleek white cabinets.
The clean aesthetic.
But for the ADHD brain, putting things behind cabinet doors is a death sentence for those items. Take the doors off the pantry, or use open bookcases. Keep your medication on the counter. Keep your gym shoes out.
One tip was to put the gym shoes literally in front of the door, like as a trip hazard.
A functional trip hazard. You have to physically engage with the item to leave the house. You have to step over them or pick them up.
It's a visual cue you cannot ignore.
You cannot. And what about the fridge? We talked about the crisper drawer tragedy.
Yes. What's the hack for that?
Move the condiments to the crisper drawer.
Wait, what? Seriously?
Put the ketchup, the mayo, the pickles in the drawers. You know you have ketchup. You will go looking for ketchup when you need it. It doesn't rot.
Okay.
Then put the spinach, the carrots, the peppers on the main shelf at eye level. Make the healthy food the first thing you see when you open the door.
That is genius. It's so simple, but it's genius. And whiteboards.
Essential. But not just a small one, a command center in a main living area, not tucked away in an office you avoid.
Right, where it will be forgotten.
But in the kitchen or the living room, write the tasks down. When you write it on a whiteboard, you are externalizing the working memory. You are taking the sticky note off your slippery brain and sticking it to the wall where everyone can see it.
I love that image.
Okay.
Strategy number 2, technological external brains.
We all have supercomputers in our pockets. We need to use them better. Alarms are non-negotiable for things like medication. But don't just set one.
No.
Set 3. One for 5 minutes before, one for the time, one for 5 minutes after.
Annoy yourself into compliance.
Exactly. And that specific read receipt trick for texting is fascinating. The advice is twofold. First, the best thing to do is not open a text until you are ready to reply. Treat the notification as holy. If the notification is gone, the task is gone.
But if you must look, because the curiosity is killing you.
Turn on read receipts.
Oh, wow. That's terrifying. That means they know I saw it.
It creates social pressure. If you know they know you've read it, you are far more likely to reply immediately because you don't want to be seen as rude.
You're hacking your anxiety to help your productivity, using the fear of judgment as a tool.
That is chaotic good, and I am here for it. And then there are the apps. Inflow is mentioned as a science-based app, and you have the classics like Todoist or Notion.
But the key isn't just downloading the app.
No, the key is to keep your phone's home screen clean. Put the productivity apps front and center. Hide the distractions, Instagram, TikTok in folders on the second or third page.
Make the tool visible. Make the distraction invisible. You're using object permanence against the distractions.
Exactly. If you don't see the Instagram icon when you unlock your phone, you are less likely to click it automatically out of habit.
Strategy 3. Routines and habit stacking.
This is for when visual cues aren't enough. You want to automate the behavior so that memory isn't even required.
You build it into muscle memory.
Right. And habit stacking is linking a new habit to an old established one.
Like the example of checking your planner right after you brush your teeth.
Right. You don't have to remember to check the planner, you just have to remember to brush your teeth, which you hopefully do automatically. The planner check just piggybacks on that existing neural pathway.
After I pour coffee, I take my meds. After I put on my shoes, I grab my keys.
You link them together until they become one single action.
And what about the human connection automation? Because we can't automate our friends, but maybe we can automate the outreach.
Set recurring calendar invites. Call mom every Sunday at 4 p.m., date night every Thursday.
Don't wait for the inspiration to strike.
Don't rely on feeling like it's time to call. Put it in the calendar. Automate the prompt.
Doesn't that feel a little artificial? Oh, my Google Calendar says I have to love you now.
It might feel artificial at first, but what's the alternative? Forgetting, neglect. It might take the romance out of the planning, maybe, but it puts the romance back into the execution because you actually show up.
That's a great point. Showing up is the most romantic thing you can do.
It is.
Strategy 4 is about communication and honesty. This feels like the hardest one because it requires admitting you have a problem.
It requires vulnerability. It's the user manual conversation. You have to be honest with your loved ones. You have to sit them down and explain, hey, my brain works like this. If I go quiet, it is not personal. It's object permanence.
And giving them permission to nudge you?
Yes. Invite the double text. Say to your friends, please, if I don't reply in a day, text me again. You are not annoying me. You are helping me.
That takes the pressure off them feeling ignored and off you feeling guilty.
It reframes the nagging as support. And we also have to talk about boundaries here.
Okay.
When the ADHD brain is overwhelmed, executive function crashes. The symptoms get worse.
So if you're stressed at work, you're going to be even worse at texting back.
100%. So you have to learn to say no to new tasks when your current ones are barely visible on your mental whiteboard. You have to protect your bandwidth.
Finally, strategy 5. Biological maintenance. The boring stuff that actually works.
The boring but essential stuff. Exercise and rest.
Exercise.
It boosts memory and thinking skills. There are citations galore on this. It increases blood flow to that prefrontal cortex we talked about. It releases dopamine. It's nature's Adderall.
And rest.
Compensating for ADHD is exhausting. You are manually driving a car that everyone else is driving on automatic.
That's a great analogy.
They have cruise control. You have to keep your foot on the gas and your hands on the wheel every single second. You need downtime to reset that executive function.
So sleeping isn't lazy. It's a system reboot.
It is absolutely biological maintenance. You have to do it.
We've covered so much ground today. From Jean Piaget's babies to the neurotransmitters in the prefrontal cortex.
To the rotting spinach and the unread texts.
It's a lot.
So to recap, object permanence in ADHD is a metaphor. It's not that you don't know things exist. It's that your working memory struggles to hold on to them without sensory cues.
And this affects your stuff, your tasks, and critically, your relationships.
And the solution isn't to just try harder to remember, it's to change your environment.
Clear bins, whiteboards, loud alarms, and honest conversations.
In reframing the narrative, this is the most important takeaway for me.
I agree.
We need to shift from, I'm a bad person because I forgot, to my brain needs different cues.
Yeah.
These aren't failures of caring. They're not failures of intelligence. They are symptoms of neurobiology.
Be kind to your brain. It's doing its best with the wiring it has.
Absolutely.
Before we go, I want to leave you with one final thought. We've spent this whole hour talking about how out of sight, out of mind is a deficit, a struggle, a disorder.
Yeah, we've painted a pretty grim picture at times.
But let's flip it for a second.
Okay, let's unpack this. I'm curious.
If the ADHD brain lives entirely in the now and focuses intensely on what is visible, does that make them naturally more present than the rest of us?
That is a fascinating angle.
If you aren't ruminating on the invisible past because, frankly, you forgot it, and you aren't stressing about the invisible future because you can't really see it,
then you are here, right now, in this moment.
What if we stop viewing out of sight, out of mind purely as a failure and viewed it as a mandate.
A mandate for what?
A mandate to curate your immediate surroundings with only what truly matters. If you only see what's in front of you, make damn sure what's in front of you is beautiful and important and exactly what you want to be doing.
Wow.
If you are with a friend, you are with that friend because nothing else exists in that moment.
That is a powerful reframe. It turns a bug into a feature. If you can manage the chaos, the ability to be hyper present is actually a gift. It's mindfulness without trying.
Something to mull over.
While you go check your CRISPR drawer
Please, seriously, go check your CRISPR drawer.
for your own health and safety.
Thanks for listening to this deep dive. Take care of yourselves, and we'll catch you in the next one.